Well, hello there, and welcome to the US Open 2025 W. I usually do this for Talking Tennis, and this is your form book for the WTA field going into a Grand Slam, the only one of its kind on YouTube. As usual, I'll be doing a top 10 players most likely to win the US Open based on form from the year, but mainly on North American hard courts and a little bit of my opinion there as well. But first, we're going to do some honourable mentions. There's 5 players to talk about here. Anna Kalinskaya, I'm going to put that out there as an honourable mention. It seems to be winning quite a few matches on the North American hard courts. Obviously made the DC final, which has also picked up a few wins in Canada and also in Cincinnati by reaching the quarterfinals there. So I think that she can make a deep run in New York if she gets a good draw. Another honourable mention I'd like to put out there is Alex Eala. Let's see how she does. She likes North American hard courts. She did well in Miami, and she's coming back from injury. So there's a lot of question marks around her, but she is the kind of player who could do well in New York and usually does. So keep an eye out for her. Amanda Anisimova, I think people will be expecting to be in the top 10, but she's not. She lacks a good history at the US Open. She's not done particularly well there in the past. And also things have gone a bit quiet for her since that Wimbledon run. Obviously, she thumped Emma Raducanu in Canada, but that was kind of the highlight. So we'll have to see where that goes. But at the moment, Anisimova is currently lurking in the draw as someone who could be potentially dangerous, but hasn't got much form to prove it. Someone who usually has a lot of form in US hard courts is Jessica Pegula, who also did not make the top 10. She usually performs well in Flushing Meadows. She might be fired up after the mixed doubles, but there's a lot of might be, could be with Jessica Pegula, because the problem is she's very out of form. After winning Bad Homburg, it's not really gone well for her. And the final honourable mention, someone who very nearly made the top 10, was Emma Raducanu. The 2021 champion is looking more and more like the player that won the US Open now 4 years ago. Really great match with Aryna Sabalenka that happened in Cincinnati. Let's see if she can continue challenging the top, but it's a question of if with her still, and that's why she remains an honourable mention. Right, we've done 3 minutes of not the top 10, so let's actually do the top 10. First off, number 10, Naomi Osaka, the 2-time US Open champion, 2018 and 2020. Looked more like Naomi Osaka that we recognised in Canada with the coaching change, looking a lot more confident. Still some questions after what happened in the final in Canada against the Victoria Mboko, but that was a big run, and that's injected some belief into the 2-time champion, who, other than Venus Williams, is the most successful player at the US Open in the draw. So keep an eye on Osaka. She's going to be hoping for a good draw. She's finally seeded. There's going to be a lot of questions around how far exactly she can go. But second week is very realistic. Number 9, Alina Svitolina. Kind of the safe choice here. She's been a consistent force on the WTA Tour this season. She's already reached 2 Grand Slam quarterfinals this season in Australia and the French. Maybe unfortunate a little bit not to make Wimbledon, but Svitolina is a player who you can trust to rack up the wins, and I think she will be doing the same at the US Open. Former quarterfinalist here, was 1 point away from making the semi-finals in 2021. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini, finalist in Cincinnati. Ignore her at your peril. She always does better than people give credit for. She's always going to try and force herself into contention in places, and she likes the North American hard courts. I think I first noticed Jasmine Paolini at the US Open. I think, again, it was 2021 or 2022, where she had a really, really good match, and she didn't win it, but her fight and her determination, that was the first time it was on display for me. And I think that she'll be confident enough to recreate that at this year's US Open. Number 7, maybe ranked a little bit low for some people, but I have to go with Madison Keys. She has unfinished business with the US Open. She's been unfortunate not to put herself in winning positions before. She got to the final in 2017. She was so close to making the final in 2023. She's had a really strong season, obviously, with the Australian Open title, including some solid showings across the 1000s that have happened over the last couple of weeks. I think Keys is definitely one of the biggest dark horses in the field. And even then, I don't even think she could be fully counted as a dark horse. I think she's going to want to be a factor on these US Open courts. All right, this one might be a little overranked, but I am giving much more weight to players who've won North American 1000 titles. So number 6 is Vicky Mboko, the Montreal champion, who won it in style. She beat Coco Gauff, she beat Elena Rybakina, and she beat Naomi Osaka. Mboko is now on a winning streak. Officially, she and Swiatek are going to go into the US Open unbeaten. Mboko did not play Cincinnati, which is one of the things that's holding her back. But also, there is question marks around, what can she do? Can she beat players like Sabalenka or Swiatek if it came to it in a draw? And that is a question. She's got the game for it. She's got the potential. Is her time to win the US Open now? Don't count her out. If she could win Canada, beating the field that she did, US Open is only one step away. And that is why she's number 6 on the power ranking. Number 5, fellow 18-year-old Mira Andreeva, the Indian Wells champion. And in US Open has been the kind of proving ground for younger champions. Obviously, we've had some breakthrough champions over the last few years, like Osaka, as mentioned before, Bianca Andreescu, Emma Raducanu, Iga Swiatek won it. Okay, she'd already broken through and won a slam, but this was like her big breakthrough to become the main leading player on the tour, or one of them. Coco Gauff, a couple of years ago, breakthrough, first Grand Slam. This would fit for someone like an Andreeva or an Mboko, but focusing on Andreeva, she has been performing well at the slams. Okay, quarterfinals in the last 2. Last 16 in Australia. Was unfortunate to get Sabalenka really early on in her draw. I think she's going to make at least the second week. I think she's going to be in the quarterfinals again at the US Open, or she's got a very strong potential for it. And let's face it, Indian Wells gives hope, because that's the kind of event and kind of draw that's probably the closest to the US Open you can get. And she won it. She beat Swiatek and Sabalenka. She's got the potential right now, and she's proved herself a little bit more than maybe Mboko has, which is why she's ahead on the ranking. Skip Cincinnati, which prevents her from being number 4. And speaking of number 4, this is going to surprise some people, because I've had to really jump her up the list, but I've got a good feeling about this player. Elena Rybakina is the number 4 on the power ranking. And on paper, you think, why? She's really struggled to make it past the 3rd round at the US Open. She's even not played it, more or less, or retired the last couple of instances. Here's the thing with Rybakina. She's playing better on North American hard courts than she has been before. She has been the standard to beat at all 3 North American hard court events on the WTA Tour held in the last sort of month. She reached the semi-finals in all of them. She was beaten by Leylah Fernandez in Washington. She was beaten by Mboko in Montreal, and she's beaten by Swiatek in Cincinnati. That level of consistency and support suggests that she is probably one of the best form players going into the US Open. It is that history and maybe some unclutchness that prevents her from winning titles that's holding her back from being even number 3 on this list. But I think Rybakina has to be seen as someone who is going to be a standard setter at this tournament and is one step away from doing something big. So Rybakina is number 4. Before I go to number 3, I say that obviously I think one of the cool things about this list is the top 3 are the 3 most recent US Open champions and are the 3 genuine leading contenders for it. And I think we've got a good chance of a repeat US Open champion for the first time since Osaka did it 5 years ago. Osaka seems to be probably building to one of the stories of the US Open, given how many times I have mentioned her. But they've also been sort of 3 of the stars of the year. You've got 2 of the Grand Slam winners, Swiatek and Goff. You've got Sabalenka, who's the world number 1 and the defending champion at the US Open. They are 3 of the 4 players who've won Grand Slams this season, the other being Keys, who is on this list at number 7. So let's go into it. Number 3, Coco Gauff. Let's face it, compared to the other 2 I've just mentioned, she's out of form. She seems to be getting it back a little bit. She made the Cincinnati quarterfinals, which has broken a little bit of maybe the struggles that she's had because she didn't win a match on grass and then comes back at there and loses to Mboka in the last 16, loses to Paolini in quarterfinals of Cincinnati. The thing is, Coco Gauff's base level is so high that it takes a lot for anyone to beat her, even when she's not playing great. And we see that time and again. She will scrap her way through matches, and I think she will still beat most of the field. Maybe, unfortunately, get Emma Navarro in her draw, given how Navarro's been someone who's proven to bother her. But she is one of the stars of the last 12 months, and she'll be carried by the crowd at the US Open, which will raise that base level even higher. So I'm expecting Coco Gauff to make, last 16 bare minimum, quarterfinals minimum. And hey, wouldn't be surprised to see in the semis or the final if the draw is kind to her and she avoids Iga Swiatek. But yeah, Gauff is going to be on this list. All right, so we know it's between 2 players for number 1 and number 2. How controversial is my number 1 pick going to be? You can decide while I talk through the number 2 pick. The defending champion, Aryna Sabalenka, is number 2 on my list. Don't count her out of hard courts. She is frequently one of the players to beat at these Grand Slams. She's made it minimum semi-finals at every Grand Slam since, she's played since the US Open last year. Really, more or less, the only time she didn't make the semi-finals in, the last 3 years has been the French Open quarters that she lost to Andreeva at in 2024. She peaks at slams and she's tough to beat by pretty much anyone. You have to be on your game to stop her, and she's only been losing to players who have a history of bothering her. Defending champion, loves it in New York, and is the Miami champion. So has won a North American hardcourt title, which historically is a good sign. It's been very rare in the last few years for someone who hasn't won one of the 1000s in North America to go on to win the US Open. She's pretty high on the list. She scored pretty highly, but she doesn't get the number 1 on the list because she was pipped to the number 1 spot after the result of Cincinnati, which was won by Iga Swiatek. She, in my opinion, is the favourite for the 2025 US Open. She won the 2022 championship, less fancied. She is the form player right now, the most informed player of the field. She's won Wimbledon, she's won Cincinnati, and I think people are willing to overlook what happened in Canada, losing to Clara Towson. She's looking fresh, she's having fun, she's playing in the mixed doubles, she's already in the semi-finals with Casper Ruud, and she's already acclimatizing to New York pretty well. She's confident, and that means Iga Swiatek is going to be tough to beat because when she's confident, she wins. And if that's not enough, the last 2 years, the Cincinnati champion has gone on to win the US Open. Coco Gauff in 2023, Aryna Sabalenka in 2024. Will Iga Swiatek continue the trend? There you have it. The 2025 US Open WTA Power Ranking for Talking Tennis, presented by me. So to recap, from 10 to 1, here we go. Number 10, Naomi Osaka. Number 9, Elina Svitolina. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini. Number 7 is Madison Keys. Number 6, Vicky Mboko. Number 5, Mira Andreeva. Number 4, Elena Rybakina. Number 3, Coco Gauff. Number 2, Aryna Sabalenka. And number 1, Iga Swiatek. Well, this list was made before the draw came out. The draw is out on Thursday as you watch this video. So we'll see how confident we are in the power ranking holding up once that's out. If you are watching this video before the draw comes out, you can watch Talking Tennis's reaction to the live draw on Thursday afternoon, or you can catch up with all of their thoughts on the draws on the WTA Weekly Show, which will be on Saturday. Join me for future episodes to see how this draw panned out. I'm looking forward to this US Open a lot and basically enjoying it with you guys. So, see you at the US Open. In the meantime, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello, hello, hello. I just need to adjust this slightly. I'm going to close my window, door, or whatever it is to the balcony because the bells are chiming. I'm not sure if they're chiming for the US Open draw or just because it's 6 o'clock. How are you, Eddie? All right?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a bit late here, but looking forward to seeing what the draw has for us. Yeah, and also
What's
US
our
Open
source?
qualies.
What's our source, Eddie? How do we just wait for Twitter and Jose Morgado to tweet?
Well, I was going to ask you the same thing. I thought you'd have it sorted out, no?
Yeah, I'm doing a million things at once as usual. It's 6 p.m. here, so I've just opened a Radler, so cheers. I'm guessing it's 2 a.m. for you or 1 a.m.?
1 a.m.
Mm-hmm. So you're 8 hours to UK, 7 to... to be honest with you, I have most US time zones, North America, South America as well. But I always sort of slip with Seoul. It's the opposite direction. I mean, it's not New Delhi, by the way. Nothing against New Delhi. It's just the fact that I think it's like 5.5 or 6.5, depending on which time of the year it is. So that one's also particularly complex. But we don't have a talking tennis member of the team yet in New Delhi. But if you are based there, don't hesitate to get in touch, despite my confusion over what time zone you are in. Listen, I don't know, Eddie. I'm just waiting for a tweet, basically, because unfortunately, the US Open, unlike I think the other 3 slams, all now have some kind of live production.
Right.
New York, for whatever reason, doesn't.
They're too busy just, buzzing after that mixed doubles event.
What's going on in qualifying, by the way, today? What? Because of course we'll have qualifiers placed for those of you just tuning in who don't know how this works. Tennis being tennis, I don't know why they don't wait until the qualifying is completed. Now, this week there might be a slight exception just because of the rain. You'd probably want the draw to be done on Friday, but I don't know why, Eddie. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on this. Why don't they just wait until the qualifying's done and then we can see it all very transparently? Oh, I see that, this qualifier, we should look out to see where they're drawn. I don't know why it can't be done on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, they actually have to do a draw ceremony anyway, really.
So I'm going to interrupt you. We've got the draw.
It's just
dropped.
I've just seen it.
You've seen it as well. I've got Michal... I'm not sure what his surname is, but you know who I mean, the guy on Twitter who's always doing sort of draws and stuff like that. So we've got the men's singles draw has just dropped from the sky, and
US
Sinner
Open account has it up as well.
Oh, okay. The US Open account's got it up as well.
The women.
So I'm just showing on the screen there right now. Hi, Jake, by the way, and do hit the like button for those of you just tuning in.
Oh, wow.
Go on, what?
I mean, I'm going to have to, there's a lot of names there. I'm going to have to take a moment to absorb it all.
Oh, I see. Yeah, me too. I mean, just quickly, I'll just sort of say some things. Like I can see that Kopriva is playing Sinner. And so Sinner versus Popperin in the second round, I think, is interesting, let's say. As interesting as it might get for Yannick in the first week. He's got Shapovalov as well as a potential round 3 opponent. Although maybe Boo will have something to say about that, who's putting up a few trees right now in Winston-Salem. Bublik Cilic, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting for whatever reason. You'd think Bublik would win that, but of course Bublik has barely played, I think. Has he played a hardcourt tournament? I don't think so. He got injured at the end of the sort of post-Wimbledon clay season. Elmer Muller, Tommy Paul. If that was on clay, I think I might give him a bit better chance, but I don't know. Tommy Paul's barely played, and when he has played, he's been injured, like at Wimbledon.
Mm.
So yeah, Borges against Holt, Musetti and Pecci Pericard. Now Musetti's in a bit of a rut of late, pretty much since Wimbledon, losing early basically wherever he turns up. He's the opposite of a German train. He's always early. So in his departures. But he's got Pecci Pericard in his round 1. So yeah, that's
he was also not doing very well recently.
No, he's not. That's true. Yeah, you've got two people.
He's in the quarters now, isn't he? In Winston-Salem, right? But
yeah, he is. Don't know how much we can read into that. I think did he beat Diallo, by the way, in Winston-Salem, because Diallo's playing Jamur in the first round. Draper will come up against a qualifier. Give me a qualifier who Jack would want to avoid. Do you think
a qualifier? Maybe Wu Yibing if he makes it in. Obviously, yeah. But I mean, I think he will. But yeah, if he's fit and ready to go, yeah, that's definitely one. A guy that probably shouldn't be playing qualies, just had troubles with his injuries and stuff. But yeah, on his day, I mean, he gave Alcaraz a good run for his money. So yeah, we'll see. But there's a few other guys in there. Dino Prismic as well in the qualies. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Good young players.
Where they end up, yeah. There's not really a round 1 or even a round 2 or 3 that's going, oh my goodness me, right now. I'll have a look at the quarters and stuff later on and halves. I'm intrigued to know whether Djokovic is in Carlos's or Yannick's half. I think he would like to be in Carlos's, but we'll see where he ends up. I'm just scrolling down the draw as we speak. Yeah, no sort of amazing ones. What about Tsitsipas Muller? Can Muller beat Tsitsipas?
Probably.
Probably anyone can really right now.
Maybe over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
hang on a second. Here we go. I've got a round 1 that I'm semi-excited about.
Wow.
Djokovic Lerner-Teen. Djokovic Lerner-Teen, I think is intriguing. I think Lerner can definitely take a set.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Lerner, he's not seeded. Not yet, anyway. I think maybe in a year from now, he might well be seeded at the US Open. But
Djokovic should be... Well, he's well rested, right? I mean, he's not played for a while, but...
Djokovic wins, probably a favourite, maybe in straights. But I thought with a nice draw... I'm slightly underwhelmed by Lerner's North American swing. But I thought he'd have a good North American swing. I thought he'd pose a threat. I thought he'd get to a quarters or a semis somewhere. That hasn't materialized. I thought a second week in New York was possible with a decent draw. That hasn't materialized either because I still think Novak will win that. But that's an intriguing first round. And I think from Novak's perspective, there are players that I think he would like to avoid. And maybe Lerner might be one of them. I mean, he's seeded 7. He's got Mickelson potentially. Mickelson or Korda or even Norrie, maybe. In fact, that's a tough little mini section there. Cam Norrie, Sebi Korda, Fran Comisania, and Mickelson. Comisania on a hard court, I don't think is a big deal. I know he beat Opelka recently, but
Korda's not happy about that, really, is he?
I guess not. No, but you keep getting injured, you're not going to be seeded, and therefore you're going to be potentially in muddles like this. But yeah, Korda would have Norrie, Mickelson, Djokovic as a path to the second week. So that's tough. But Djokovic team for me so far. And does that mean Djokovic is in Sinner's half? I think it might well do. I think Djokovic is in Sinner's half.
Which is, I guess, preferable for Sinner.
Oh, no, he's at the top. No, tell a lie. He's at the top of Alcaraz's half. So even better for Sinner, in my opinion, and better for Djokovic too. So he's at the top. This is the top of Carlos's half. So Carlos Alcaraz, Novak Djokovic is a potential semi-final. Also looking at the big picture here, just trying to see who their quarters are. Who is in Novak's? Taylor Fritz is Djokovic's potential quarter-final opponent, and Shelton against Alcaraz is a potential quarter-final as well. Now, I think it's not a great draw for Alcaraz. There you go. I think Djokovic or Zverev would have been a tricky semi-final for Alcaraz, but Zverev might not get there. And Djokovic is a little bit more reliable than Zverev at the moment, even though Djokovic hasn't played since Wimbledon, we know. Ben Shelton, I think, would rather avoid Alcaraz or Sinner before the semis if he could, but he's not. He's going to get Alcaraz potentially in the quarters. So that is... honestly, that is a quarterfinal that I think could be extremely exciting.
You mean Ben Shelton against Djokovic?
No, Shelton Alcaraz.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh yeah, Shelton's in that bottom half. Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. If it gets, I mean, well, Alcaraz also has maybe to face Daniel Medvedev before that.
Okay, if Medvedev gets that far, yeah. Just having a look down, then a bit further. Let's go to Alcaraz's bit. We will come to the women as soon as I have it, or maybe it's even dropped. But I've just been looking at other stuff. Yeah, so we've got Alcaraz against Opelka. I don't think that's an amazing first round for the number 2 seed. I think he wins, but
I think he wins.
I think so. Yeah,
return game and everything.
What about Shang? Where are we at with Shang at the moment? He's got Bellucci in the first round.
He's just come back from injury, and I'm not feeling too hopeful about his hopes. I mean, I think, Alcaraz plays either Shang or Bellucci. I don't think it's too bad for him, probably.
I think this is okay. Darderi, Hijikata, Dostanic, and Spitsiri. I think 4th round should be all right, and that's where potentially Medvedev would lie in wait. And yet, who knows? Although it's probably Davidovich might be able to be the favourite from this section. Medvedev against Bonzi. Didn't Bonzi beat him at Wimbledon this year? Or someone, who did he lose to at Wimbledon? Medvedev, I think it was Bonzi.
Yeah.
Navoni, Giron. Giron normally I like, but he's just really scratching for form at the moment. Carballes Baena is probably already booking his flight to Seville for the Challenger the week after, and is against Rinderknech. And then you got Shevchenko against Davidovich. Yeah, for me, it's Davidovich against Medvedev in round 3. And then obviously the winner of that plays Alcaraz.
We'll see as well. Like Jakub Menšik also in that little section there. Potential.
Which section is this now?
So Menšik is drawn, he's at 16th seed. So he's just in that, well, he's in the same section as, same half as Djokovic, or a quarter, I should say.
Yeah. Okay, that's a tricky one then potentially for Djokovic at some point. Of course, he beat him in Miami, didn't he? Let's just scroll back up to Djokovic on here.
Fonseca as well, I just seen.
Who's Fonseca playing?
Was it Kuzmanovic there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
I see. Oh, yeah. So we've got an interesting section here. Mensic or Jarry? Probably Mensic, but yeah. Marajan against a qualifier. We've got a lot of exciting players here. Mensic, Jarry, Marajan, Fonseca, I think are all
give us some good matches.
Yeah. Nardi on a hard court is decent. Of course, beat Novak in Indian Wells a couple of years ago, 18 months ago. Yeah, we could have a Fonseca-Mensic shootout to play Djokovic in round 4.
Yeah, that could be a match that we see a lot in the future as well.
Am I right with this? I might be wrong, actually. Let me get my bearings again. So we've got Novak, let's say, getting through to round 3 to play maybe Mickelson. Then, round 4 for Novak would be potentially Holger Rune. Mensic and Fonseca would be shooting out to play. Would that be in round 4 that they'd be? Just trying to see. This draw's confusing right now. I'm just trying to see maybe some of the live chat.
Mensic and Fonseca would actually play in the 3rd round, right?
Mensic, Fonseca, 3rd round. And then the winner of that, let me just see. So we've got...
I mean, no guarantee, because,
if they get it, yeah, of course.
Fonseca might have to play Makac in the 2nd round. So.
Oh, yeah. He can. To be honest with you, I still think he's having a good Grand Slam year. As long as he's winning 1 or 2 matches at each Slam, and he is, he's getting to the 3rd round in Wimbledon, for example.
The US Open put up some graphics as well with a draw.
Okay.
Men's as well.
Yeah, so I think the 4th round for Mensic, Fonseca, or Mahac would be against Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz. So probably one of those three will be facing Taylor in round 4, and then the winner of that would then potentially be facing Novak. So I think Novak's draw is okay. I think the first round is not great, but thereafter, yeah, Mickelson round 3, Tiafoe maybe round 4.
I didn't realize Darwin Blanche got a wild card.
Yeah, yeah.
He starts off against a lucky loser or qualifier as well.
Oh wow! So he might even win a match. The thing is, though, I think did he win some sort of US boys tournament or US tournament, and that sort of gave him one of the guaranteed wildcards. I think there might be a tournament for youngsters in the US that he won or something.
Yeah, he won an ATP match recently. Who did he beat?
He won an ATP match in Winston-Salem. Yeah. All right, shall we switch over to the women's draw?
Sure.
Let me see if I can get this up pretty quickly. Someone's mentioning Coco Gauff in the chat. So Sabalenka Masarova. There wasn't any great, huge round ones that really struck me. And maybe Lernatin against Djokovic is it. Sabalenka Masarova. Leila Fernandez against a qualifier. Alex Eala against Clara Towson. That's unfortunate for Alex, and probably means she's going to have another first round exit at a slam. That'll be her third one in a row this year. She just probably, if you're going to face a seed, you don't want Towson in the first round. Anyway, yes, Rybakina against the American Pareja or Parilla. Raducanu is going to face a qualifier. Kessler Lynette, that's kind of interesting. Pagula Sharif, Pagula wins that. Although Pagula's scratching around for form at the moment as well. I think 2 and 4 since winning Bad Homburg. What about Wong against Navarro?
Which section is that in? Sorry, you've got it on there, have you?
You ran one basically anyway. It's winner of that will play Teichmann or McNally.
That's really obviously a tough one for. Wait, which player? Sorry, which one?
Yeah, I know. Yafan Wang.
Then it's that's different then. So yeah, it's not as tough as the other one, but like, sorry, I mean, probably for Navarro, she gets through. I mean, I think the Wang Yafang, she's like fairly tough competitor, but I think probably at this moment in time, Navarro does get through. So yeah, it's probably going to be okay for her. Osaka is, I've just seen her there, odd drawn against Minin, and plays either Haley Baptiste or Siniakova in the second round.
Okay. That's a possible third rounder from Naomi. Barbora Krejcikova against Mboko is so far on the women's side is a big one for me. Krejcikova on a hard court is really good, despite that, obviously, her 2 slams come on the natural surfaces. She's not had the best of 2025s once again, sort of injury and form have hit her as it can happen with Barbora. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Barbora could win that, and that's not the ideal first round for Mboko. Because I mean, Mboko I think is the favorite, having just won in Canada, maybe smartly skipping Cincinnati, but that's a fascinating affair. Just seeing if Zeynep Solmaz gets a qualifier. Bolter Kostyuk, probably Kostyuk's the favorite, and therefore really her year doesn't really improve.
Yeah, I think so. What else stands out?
What about what section is like Rybakina and stuff like that in?
Rybakina's in Raducanu's section. I saw that. I mean, she's I mean, Kudermetova, and then on the same half as Paolini. I mean, it's not bad for Rybakina, you'd have to say, but she's going to have to face
Andreeva's going to face Parks. Andreeva Parks. I normally I wouldn't be thinking about this, but Alyssa Parks is picking up wins in I think it's Cleveland or Monterrey right now, and yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, just have a look at this half of the draw. So in Arina Sabalenka's half, she has Leila Fernandez as a potential third round. Pagula potential fourth round Clara Towson and Rybakina as a potential quarterfinal. The highest seed, so either the third or fourth, is Pegula as a semi-final for Sabalenka. So yeah, Sabalenka's draw with Towson and Rybakina as fourth round and quarterfinals. That's not great for her. Looking at Swiatek, she's going to be playing the Colombian Arango in round 1, and then either Glosman or Leymans in round 2. So the first couple of rounds for her look okay. Obviously, she's been propelled to the number 2 seed. So she's in Coco Gauff, presumably. Yes, I think Coco Gauff will be somewhere on this screen. I just can't see exactly where. There she is, yes. So Coco Gauff, Swiatek as a possible semi-final. That's not bad. Iga's had a few tough draws in the last year or so. I think that's not bad for her.
Yeah, just have a look through. Yeah, I mean, definitely her first section there, like her, her quarter overall is pretty good. Yeah, I think that's going to be, like this is probably like the best chance she felt like she's got to win another US Open, right? So yeah, I feel this is only going to bode well for her. I think this draw, when I'm looking
Alexandrova, I think is around 4 for her. That's tricky. That's when it starts to get tricky, really. But listen, with the women's draw so stacked and players like Raducanu not seeded, and 1 or 2 other players like Vondrousova not seeded as well, Barbora Krejcikova not seeded. So some of these players are obviously players that have fallen down the rankings, but still on their day can pull off a win. Others are, up and climbing back up, if you like, in Raducanu's case.
We could get a Swiatek and a Samova rematch in the quarters.
Okay. I see that. Yeah,
maybe like Samova wants to do a bit better this time.
Yeah, I think if that does happen, she'll definitely do better than Wimbledon. Anisimova will have Birel in the first round, and then the winner of a qualifier and Maya joint. Danielle Collins, by the way, could be her last US Open. Of course, last year she said this would be her last US Open, and yet here we are. She's going to be playing Christian, and then the winner of Kruger and Kenin. So a possible Kenin-Danielle Collins match. I think that would excite a lot of Americans in particular. Hadad Mar, who can't buy a win at the moment, is going to play Sonny Kartal in the first round. Maria Sakkari against Tatiana Maria. I think I've seen that one a few times before, because you always get that funny thing of Maria and Sakkari playing against each other in round 1. So I think Maria beat her in a round 1 somewhere at some point in the last 18 months at Grand Slam. I can't remember exactly which one or where, but
one thing I was thinking about is looking at the draw. Have any of the seeds drawn qualifiers?
So on the women's side or on the men's side?
On the women's side.
Okay, on the women's side, I'm going to have a quick look. We've got Leylah Fernandez against the qualifier, and I think Leylah is really tricky to predict. Well, yes and no. Leylah feels like a second or third round and has felt that way for 2 or 3 years. And even winning in Washington, she hasn't really backed that up too much, in my opinion. So she's got a qualifier. Buxor player qualifier, Lucia Bonse. Yes, so Raducanu against the qualifier, Kudermetova against the qualifier. This is I think Raducanu's not ideal. Qualifier followed by Kudermetova. Kudermetova, of course, I think has just been in a final somewhere, hasn't she? I feel, or semi-final maybe. In Cincinnati, was she in a semi-final or Canada? I could be getting wrong there, but I think she got really far recently. Maybe it was in Cincinnati. She got to the semis. I think she lost to Paolini maybe in Cincinnati. And then Rybakina, round 3. Listen, that's not nice for Raducanu. We don't know which qualifier she'll get. But let's imagine that's a 70-30, and then Kudermetova might be a 50-50. And then Rybakina might well be the end of her road. Rybakina is someone who I've not really thought of as a North American threat, but she's had her best North American swing so far, I would say. And obviously she's got her coach back on board. That's a topic that's really just been glazed over. So did the WTA mess up? Did they just come to a deal? Did court action get threatened and they just went, you know what, just come back because we don't have enough on you? Who knows? But whatever. He's back. But Rybakina is also
you know, doing fine. The thing is, we know how good she can be. She's a potential 2, 3, 4, 5 Grand Slam winner. Don't forget, she won her Grand Slam before Aryna Sabalenka won her first. And that Australian Open final, of course, at 23 could have gone either way. And it could be Rebecca with 4 Grand Slams in a locker like Aryna does. Is it 4 that Arena's won? She's won 2. No, 3. She's won 3. 2 in Australia and 1 in New York. But yeah, that's an interesting section for sure. Any other qualifiers for Jasmine Paolini's got a qualifier? Vondrousova has a qualifier.
Well, I was just thinking because, of course, you mentioned Jasmine Paolini because she did lose to Io Ito recently, and Io Ito looks like she's about to get to the final round, but then she might have to play the Indonesian player Janice Chen. Both of them of their Tennis Asia players that I've been following, but like they're on the up, so I wouldn't want to be playing them. Also, Zhang Shuai's in the quali, so like that's an experienced players who I would expect to get through, and then probably you don't want to draw them first round. Like if you're expecting an easier first round, honestly, but like
Paolini is another one of these that on the women's side could go as far as the quarters or the semis, but could also go out in round 1. Honestly, I think Paolini is that's the thing. I think it's only Iga and Aryna, and to some extent Coco, but depending on where Coco is playing, like in Wimbledon, who knows? But it's only Aryna and Iga where you really have any faith. Do you know what I mean? Against an absolute high-flying qualifier, Rybakina can come unstuck. Pegula has won 2 matches and lost 4 since Bad Homburg, so she can definitely lose to most players on the tour. I mean, Magdalena is here. I'm just looking at her right now. She's a classic example of someone who's a banana skin for so many top players. And it's only Aryna and Iga that you sort of think, yeah, they're in round 3 or round 4 without probably dropping a set,
Yes. I don't know, like the women's at the moment, I mean, outside of, Iga and the 2 or 3 players, really, I mean, you can say that, like, there's always potential for upsets here, and you never, know how it's going to pan out.
Ostapenko could be round 1 or quarterfinals. You just don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this section here. Her against Andreeva in round 3 is fun, but you just don't know who she's going to play in that qualifier. You don't know what Ostapenko is going to turn up. She doesn't know what Ostapenko is going to turn up either, so we have no idea. Taylor Townsend or Ruzic awaits the winner of Ostapenko gets the qualifier there. There's not many. I'm just thinking of Lernatin against Djokovic and Krejcikova against, who did I say Krejcikova's playing? Mboko. Those are the 2 that off the top of my head that stick out as, round 1s to look forward to. Mukova, Venus Williams. There you go. There's a nice one, certainly in terms of names. And that will probably be a night session on Ash at some point in the first couple of days. I think Mukova will be quite happy with that, let's say.
We could get Mboko versus Andreeva in the was it last 16? Yeah, I mean,
Battle of the Youngsters.
Yeah, both could be interesting.
Yeah. So Venus Williams, Mukova, I guess, is another sort of standout tie in terms of names, at least. Obviously, a multiple Grand Slam winner against a former Grand Slam finalist and a former US Open semi-finalist in the form of Karolina Mukova. Yeah, Osaka against Minen. That's not bad. Baptiste Siniakova, yeah, not easy, but... And then for Osaka in round 3 would be Garcia playing her last slam, Rakhimova, Rusa, or Kazatkina. Yeah, I like Osaka's chances of making the second week from that section.
Yes, not bad actually. I think, I mean, the main other seed in her little section there is Kazatkina, and then I mean, but though potentially, I guess. Yeah, first like clear test. I mean, I guess you'd say was golf, right? So, and that would be the last 16.
Yeah, but that's okay. You're what's Osaka seeding 23? Yeah, you're going to be playing possibly Sabalenka or Swiatek in the round of 16. By the way, I would love to have seen Swiatek against Osaka on a hard court at a slam, but we might have to wait for that. Nah, that's okay. That's all right. Goff section, by the way. Vekic can be a really, really good player on all surfaces, really. I mean, she did well at the Olympics last year and played, didn't she? But yeah, someone whose form is patchy. So Goff getting to round 3, I think, should happen. Probably round 4 as well. Not a bad section for her. There's not that many storylines, I have to say. I'm thinking about, maybe there's something on Twitter that's been noticed and someone's like, oh my God, I can't believe that X player is going to be playing this player in the 3rd or 4th round. Because first rounds, I'm seeing very few standout sort of ties. As I said, Lernatin against Djokovic, Venus Williams against Mukova, and Krejcikova.
I mean, Lerner against Djokovic is quite interesting. Obviously, I mean, if Lerner gets a set, obviously big crowd behind him and all that, and
it could be the first one, knowing how Novak is, and he hasn't played much recently.
And he also obviously did really well and beat Medvedev in Australia, right? So I mean, it's not like a dissimilar kind of matchup. And then, yeah, just it's just going to be about whether it's a good one actually for Djokovic if he gets through, and if he can sort of, he might feel, get him into form sort of thing. But like, it'll be interesting to see how he responds.
All right, listen, I'll tell you what I'd like to do before we bring this to an end, Eddie. I know it's pretty late for you, but I'd like to hone in on 4 matches, okay? We're going to go in on, let's begin with Alex Eala against Clara Tauson. Yeah, as I said, when the draw was announced, I thought that Eala against, Eala's obviously not seeded, but there's probably 9 or 10 players that you'd probably want to avoid in round 1. And I think Tauson would be one of those 9 or 10 players, in my opinion, that Eala would want to avoid. And yet, here we are. That doesn't mean she can't take a set. And it's really unfortunate for Alex, Eddie, that she's come into her section, in my opinion, of the year when I really think that she can, really show herself and break through into the top 50 potentially. But unfortunately, she got that injury against Vondrousova and loses a 3-set match. There's been a few 3-set losses recently where she's won the first set but gone out. I remember losing to Krejcikova at Wimbledon. And yeah, Tauson, of course, beat Ika recently in Canada. So a real tough one for Alex, that, right?
Yeah, with the way Tauson has been playing and obviously, on the up really. And then I think, before, the hard court season, North American hard court started, I was thinking, it'd be good for Alex to be able to, maybe get some wins on those hard court tournaments, at least 2 or 3, just to get her in, and then, maybe finally get a slam win because she's, this is only her 3rd slam main draw. Yeah. But yeah, this is obviously not the way she would have wanted that to go. The injury is unfortunate, but, I mean, in a way it's sort of, she's done pretty well, to be honest. I mean, obviously she's had faced quite a few big players so far, and obviously beaten big names herself already. So maybe she can sort of relax a bit. But obviously, I'm not too hopeful of given that she's not exactly played a lot of matches coming in. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. She's definitely gonna have a big support there because there's a lot of Filipinos in the US, especially in New York. So. They came out to see her when I saw her in the qualies last year there, and I'm sure they'll be in wherever stadium they're going to be playing in. Yeah,
but Tauson the favourite, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe Alex can she's pretty tough competitor, but I don't think.
I think it might be better for Alex to have even, maybe tried to play one of those warm-up events. I don't know, maybe it wasn't possible for her physically, and maybe even she might be a little bit short for New York. But, maybe win a couple of matches in Monterrey and go out first round in New York would have been a better scenario. But maybe she just wasn't. Yeah. I'm probably sure she wasn't ready for one of those.
Not fit, I don't think, because I think she had planned to play Monterrey, but withdrew. Okay. So, yeah.
There you go. All right, let's hone in on Barbora Krejcikova against Victoria Mboko. I don't think that this is as one-sided as maybe some people might think in terms of Mboko being the favourite. I've seen Krejcikova have long spells off the tour, long spells of not playing well, long spells of not winning matches, and then turn up and go, you know what, I'm going to win Wimbledon. So
Yeah.
yeah, I certainly think there's a set there, and once there's a set, you've got a hell of a chance. I'm not tipping Barbora Krejcikova a win. I do think Mboko is the favorite. Very interesting that she didn't play Cincinnati recently. I mean, I know she just won Canada, but 24, 48 hours later, a match in Cincinnati would have been possible. But interesting, maybe quite a smart decision to not play that. The winner of this, by the way, will play Uchijima or Danilovic. But yeah, thoughts on Krejcikova against Mboko?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, obviously, she's the more experienced player and is more used to these settings. Let's remember that, Mboko, she's not played in this kind of stage before yet, really. I mean, obviously, she did really well recently in the 1000 event, right? But then, winning the event. But this is going to be a bit different for her. And, we forget, yeah, of course, she's in incredible form, but she's still only 18. So it's normal at this age that she's maybe going to have, a few disappointments here and there, maybe below expectations. So possibly that's what could happen here. And obviously Krejcikova maybe has a little bit of, she's more experienced here. And it's not like she's done terribly recently. I mean, she beat Svitolina in Cincy. So I mean, it's not
Eala as well in Wimbledon. Yeah, there's wins out there, and yeah, she's all right. She's it's not like she hasn't played for 6 or 12 months or whatever. We've had spells like that before. So yeah, I think as I say, outside those first two players, I just really don't have any. I'll be picking. I'll be making my picks like many of us, and do join the Fantasy League on the TNNS app to join the Talking Tennis Fantasy League. But I'll be making my picks. But I can tell you now, whoever I have in the quarters and the semis, I won't be sure. I really won't have much conviction about anyone outside of Swiatek, even Sabalenka with Rebecca being in her section. I think before she gets to the semis. So I think really it's only Swiatek looking at the draw that I go, yeah, I think she's getting to the semis. And bringing it back to this one in round one. Yeah, I see this as maybe even 55-45. Something when the next 72 hours, certain things will occur. I'll see something on the practice court. I'll see a stat. I'll see someone whose opinion I respect saying something about this match, and that might shift me one way or another. But yeah, I just think that for Mboko, maybe she could have done again experience. Who knows what court this will be on. Could be on Ash, could be on Armstrong. But yeah,
I mean, no doubt she'll have big support, right? I mean, I'm expecting that she'll, so
she will, Canadian, all the rest of it, yeah. So yeah, all right. Let's do one more on the women's side. I would like to bring up. Just scrolling down now to it. Yeah, here we go. Venus Williams against Karolina Muchova. I said when I saw this draw, that's a nice draw for Karolina. Karolina, again, has had an injury hit 12 months, and so could probably do with one or two nice-ish round ones. And I said this was a nice round one. Now, people will be going, John, you were making similar forecasts before Venus's round one in Washington, and Venus managed to win that round one in Washington against...
that was it Peyton Stearns, wasn't it?
Peyton Stearns, yeah. And I honestly, I don't know. I don't know that performance from Peyton, as good a serving day as Venus had, and as good a day as she had all round. Yeah, Peyton just looked off it for whatever reason. I don't know if there was anything physical wrong with her that day, but anyway, this is Venus could win this tennis match because she can still serve bombs, and Muchova can have an off day. And so I'm more optimistic about Venus's chances of winning this match than I would have been pre-Washington, for example. But yeah, Muchova should be okay to win this tennis match. She's obviously seed number 11 coming to this tournament. She's a former semi-finalist, and it was 2 years ago, not 15 years ago. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Williams against Muchova?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it would be quite a surprise if Williams was actually to get a win here. I mean, I would be shocked, to be honest. But I guess you never know, because it's
Mukova's not super reliable either. That's that's sort of one of the things. There is a bit of a Peyton Stearns unreliability to her in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that she plays, I suppose it's like she can have an off day, and then the errors might creep in. But like, I think that she will probably have too much quality for Venus, and I think, she might even get it done.
She'll
in
move
straight
Venus
sets.
around the court more than Peyton did as well.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
They've played once before. Did you know that? Because I'm just learning this. They played once before.
Oh,
and that won a current match. Mukova won in 2020.
Oh wow!
At the US Open in the first round. So there you go. How about that? Didn't know that they played each other at the US Open in the first round. And Mukova won 6-3, 7-5. And I see a similar scoreline when they meet again in the next few days.
Yeah, actually, that's I mean, I agree. That would be an expected sort of scoreline, I think. And sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted by the qualifying matches here.
Sure, tell me, because I'm going to move on to one more match. But tell me what you're getting distracted by.
Oh well, it looks like Aoita's about to qualify. I mean, not qualify. She gets through to the third round, right? But she's at 5-1 in that final set. But the Chen is up a set and 5-all in the second set, so it's tight there. But I was kind of looking to see whether Rei Sakamoto was able to get a win, but he's now down a break early in the third set, so he did bring it to a final set. So, but still time to go there. Do think it'd be interesting to see if he managed to qualify. He's got an interesting personality.
Why? What's special about his personality?
He's just a bit of an eccentric character. I mean, even though he's a good player as well, but he's just an interesting. He's he's got a big personality. He does that mad samurai celebration whenever he wins a tournament.
Okay.
He mimics him drawing like a sword, like a samurai, and then he did this thing where he after he did that, he ran over to his coach when he won one of the challengers and screaming, I don't know, it was very funny to see, but maybe it's a bit too soon for him because it's tight there. And Aoito though has got through, wins that final set 6-1. So it was a funny scoreline. She won 6-love, 1-6, 6-1.
Oh wow. I mean, she's nothing but fun for sure in terms of watching and even some of the results that she brings up. So we'll see if she makes it through to the main draw, and we'll see who she ends up facing. Of course, Emma Raducanu is a potential first-round opponent for all the qualifiers. All right, the final match I want to look forward to in round one is on the men's side, and it is Novak Djokovic against Lerner Teen. They have not played before. As I say, sometimes I bring up these head-to-heads expecting to see 0-0, and yet they sometimes have played at some point, as in Mukova and Venus Williams. But Djokovic and Lerner Teen have yet to play each other. Teen currently ranked 48 and at 19. As I say, I was thinking before this North American swing, all right, Lerner, a bit like Alex Eala in a way. This is your part of the season, I think. You're from the US. Hard courts undoubtedly is your best surface. You've shown some good results this year. You beat Medvedev in Australia. You pushed João Fonseca super close in Miami. And I thought, all right, go and get yourself a quarterfinal or a semifinal at one of these three North American events, either in Washington, in Canada, or Cincinnati. And yet it didn't happen. So yeah, what are you thinking about this match against Novak?
Well, I mean, it's interesting for sure. As I said, it's a young American coming up against.
Djokovic is going to be made to work. We know that. Djokovic can win in straight sets, but he's not going to do it by hitting bombs and winners all the time.
Yeah, you can see there he's exactly half his age.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Funny. But Tien though, he's impressive in the sense that, he's a smart player. I mean, in the way that he plays like Djokovic, he plays like a Medvedev. When he beat Medvedev earlier, obviously in Australia, in terms of, you know, he likes to work his way into the points and sort of wait for his opportunities to strike. And so, yeah, I'm expecting a few good rallies in this match. And it's just going to be interesting to see how Djokovic responds. I mean, he might be able to try and put his foot down and not give Tien too much to be happy about. But like, Tien, though, is interesting because he has had some good wins. Like, cause, I mean, he obviously against Medvedev, but he also beat Rublev recently. He has beaten some good players.
Medvedev in Acapulco,
Shapovalov, Shelton. So it's not like he. I think he enjoys these, you know, the big matches, and
he does, yeah.
So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Obviously, I think the question marks maybe just with Djokovic not having played many matches coming into this.
That's another factor. And you're going to have to hit an extra ball against Lerner on every occasion. So I'm not here predicting a Lerner team win, but that's a really interesting point you make about him rising to the occasion. Matthew asking, will it be a night match on Ash? For me, given the paucity of options, because we've already been through both draws, and I've said, I don't see that many storylines, and I don't see that many round ones jumping out at me. And this is there's a reason why I want to preview this one, because on the men's side, this is the only one that really stood out for me as an Ash feel to it. You've got an American against the 24-time Grand Slam champ. You've got Novak, who hasn't played a match since that Wimbledon semi-final, which I'm guessing would be 6 weeks ago, something like that. So it's a long time to go without a match. And when you're doing that kind of gamble, and I totally understand it at Novak's age, both in terms of physical and mental preparation, I understand just coming into these slams without a warm-up event, you're just sort of gambling a little bit on the draw, in that you don't have to come up against a Lerner team in the first couple of rounds. And yet here we are. He's going to play Lerner team in round one. And I can see this going 4 or 5. I still see Novak prevailing. But I do think Novak's draw is okay after this. I think Mickelson might be round 3, lying in wait, or just in the next round or two. And he's also in Carlos's half of the draw. So big picture, not bad for Novak. But first round, I don't think Lerner would be anywhere near his first choice, that's for sure. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, when was the last time Djokovic actually lost a first round at a slam? It must have been like...
No idea, because even his
like a decade ago or more than that.
Sam Querrey would have been Wimbledon 2016. Wawrinka would have been US Open 2019. I think that might be a 4th round, so it's not exactly early, but it's early for him. You know, I don't know. Did you posit a possibility for him at round 1? I think he might have only lost one in his career, no?
It's going to be... I think I've got a feeling like the statistic is like something crazy. It's probably not been until like almost 20 years ago, right? I mean, something crazy.
I think it might be, yeah. 2006, maybe? Djokovic fell to Paul Goldstein of the US in Australia. I think that might have been in 2006.
Yeah, Matthew's asking in the comments, is Lerner's weakness his serve? Yeah, it definitely is. But he's also pretty good on return himself, so that's sort of how he's able to make up for it. And, you know, he's just kind of he's a smart player as well. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I do think he can maybe get a set. And, yeah, a 4-set match, and if he's playing well, then, yeah, maybe it goes 5. But it could be an interesting one for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Big thanks for joining me for this live draw, Eddie. I'm sure we'll be catching up with you from time to time throughout the US Open. Do check out Eddie on his YouTube channel and obviously on his socials at Tennis Asia TV. I think that's also, of course, on Instagram as well as X. So give him a follow there and keep up to date with all his Asian tennis content in particular, but occasionally dipping into the global side of the sport, if you like, and including today. So thanks for that, Eddie. And yeah, we'll be speaking to you soon, Eddie, yeah?
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. And to everybody else, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.